Hey friends, and welcome back. Today we're going to tackle the organization project of the dreaded pantry. So I know that when you open those cupboards, that organization needs to happen. So join me, and I hope this inspires you. I'm going to break it down into some easy steps that will help you do this in a way that's approachable for anybody. So this doesn't necessarily need to be what they call a Pinterest-worthy pantry, but some things that'll help you. So definitely get everything out of your pantry. So pull it all out, put it on a table. This is going to be overwhelming and it's going to be a little bit scary, but it will give you a chance to clean out your pantry and get rid of some old items and some donation items. And the next thing you want to get, if you can, is if you have some options for getting some organization containers. That's really great. I got this one off of Amazon. This one is going to be for a whole bunch of grain containers. But the only thing that I didn't like about it, I will say, is the front on it was missing like a latch. It needed something in the center. So I did put a piece of little tape there, a double-sided Gorilla Glue tape, to help keep that edge from popping out a little bit. But it works nice. And so even with that flaw, I do enjoy this piece because it did take up 6 different containers that I had in my pantry and was able to put it down to this one. And so that consolidation really helps with space. The other thing that I would recommend is that you get a variety of containers within your budget. So I did get a couple of things from the Dollar Tree. I got some things from Amazon. I did get a couple of nice dispensing containers like this one from Amazon. That one's for nuts. This one is for cereal. That just makes it a little bit nicer for things that you use frequently. So for my children, for cereal, and for my husband for his snacking nuts there, it helps because then they don't have to pull out the bags. They've got stuff spilling all over the floor. This really helps keep things tidy. Some things you can find at the Dollar Tree. I found these planter pots that I actually use more like a Lazy Susan. Lazy Susans can be expensive. These are $1 at the Dollar Tree. So I got a couple of these for in the corners. The corners can be a little bit tricky when you're trying to store things there. They get lost. So I did put one of these in each corner. And the other thing from the Dollar Tree I got were these nice baskets. And so you can really do a lot with those gold baskets. They're pretty and you can see through them. And the other thing that I did was I got these under cabinet kind of storage shelving that pulls out, and so it's on a grid. And so what you can do, drill that into your shelves where they're down low, where you're not going to have good visibility of what's in the back unless you bend over. And so these really make it convenient. You can grab that shelf, pull it out, store whatever you need to on there, and that visibility is going to make it stay a little bit more clean and tidy for you. The nice thing about these pull-out shelves, I feel that the tracks on these are really smooth, so they glide quite easily and they can handle a lot of weight. I did get these off Amazon. I can link it in the description below. And then I just went ahead and took some of my canisters to lay them out to see how that would fit, and I tackled this baking bin. Oy. So anything that you use frequently, I did decant. The rest that is more specialty items, I left in the bag and I organized them. And I don't recommend when you're doing your pantry to decant everything, because then you're just going to have a lot of glass jars. If you do a lot of baking and you have a real pantry like I do, you have a lot of specialty items, you have a lot of knickknacks and things like that. So it doesn't make sense to take all those out of their containers and put them in something else. Use something when you use it frequently. Flour, sugar, salt, things like that. The other thing that I got were the under cabinet organizers. These are a game changer when it comes to space. When you have a smaller pantry like I do and you need more space, this just allows you to do a double layer of canned goods, of sauces, everything else, and that really helps a lot. Now, to make your pantry look a little bit more Pinterest worthy, I did get these labels from the Dollar Tree. This was a chalkboard sheet actually, and then I cut them to make them a little bit larger and oversized. That would give it a little bit of a more uniform appearance and also a little bit more higher end expensive look to the label. And then I just took a chalk pen and labeled them. I could use my Cricut for this, but again, I want to be realistic, so not everybody has a Cricut, and additionally, what if you change that out? So you don't always keep the same food in those containers, and that kind of goes back to what I was saying about be careful what you decant. Use things that you frequently use, and that you're going to go ahead and refill that container on a continual basis. But again, still that might change over time, so that's what's nice about the chalk pen. You just wipe it off and rewrite it. All these chalkboard labels that I'll be using, I did get from the Dollar Tree. And the nice thing about adding the labels, it does a couple of things. It makes the space look a little bit more elegant, and it helps your family. So if you have a family who is constantly, putting things away incorrectly, and this will be a mess within a week, the labels will really help them. Show them that everything has a home, and that's the nice thing about these wire containers as well that I got from the Dollar Tree. Not only are they cute, but it helps have everything. When things have a home, things go away a lot easier because you're not the only person using this, your family is as well. And the other thing, I decided to add a very fun element with adding a little bit of lighting. Now this, I had this light strip in the cabinet and I was wondering what to do with it, and I felt like it was a little bit dark, so put this around the frame on the inside of the door. And so you can't see that. And then this is actually something you can set up with your smartphone, so you can put this on a timer that it turns on certain times during the day, and it just adds a little bit of that backlighting. And it also has this switch that I stapled up on the frame too, so that it's right on the door frame. When I walk in, I can just touch it if I wanted it to turn it on and off manually. But you can see it makes a nice difference when you turn it on and off. It kind of almost gives it like a vending machine feel to my pantry. It's kind of funny. And I just think that extra lighting adds a lot. And here where I have our breakfast area and our breakfast snacks, I added these IKEA pucks that when you walk in, they turn on automatically. And so these are a really nice touch as well. They just add a little bit extra visual appeal that I think is makes it, when your pantry looks nice, you want to keep it that way. So the last thing is that I went ahead and I grouped like things together. I have breakfast items together where I have protein bars, pouches, cereal puffs, things for my young children, and these containers make that nice and a good visual management system for my entire family. And I use this area to organize my cooking, grains, pasta, soup, things like that. And then I have a hanging basket system that I kind of throw my potatoes up into, and that is a little bit higher up out of view, so that it's not adding to any visual clutter as well, and it keeps my potatoes away from my onions, which is important in your pantry. And then the last area, for sauces, some canned goods, and then down below for my baking and my specialty cake decorating items. So some of the things that I would recommend for you, just a couple more tips. Like I said, labeling is very important. Having a home is very important so that your family knows exactly where things go back to. The second thing I would tell you is that anything that goes up high, you see I have those kind of larger gray containers from the Dollar Tree. Having something that you can pull down with a handle, that really helps with taking things down off of a shelf. If you're using bins, having bins that are not see-through, you want to make sure that you're not putting too many unlike things together when the container's not see-through, so that way they don't get lost. And I would also tell you that when you're organizing things, to be realistic about your family goals. You don't want to organize it in a way that's not something that you can manage long term. And so I hope this inspired you, and that these tips will help you get your pantry organized to help you start your rest of your new year in a great way. A next video that I have coming up will be second part of the kitchen organization, and I think these videos are really good in helping us reach those goals and keeping that feng shui and that good chi energy coming into the home. And I hope that these changes do that for you as well. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.